Hello and welcome to my video on the Nikon Z8 Recall. What are you going to do if your camera is one of the ones affected and if you just can't send your camera in for service right now? Because yes, it takes anything from 2 days up to a couple of weeks apparently, depending what part of the world you're living in. So if you're heading off on holidays or if you have a shoot planned and you just can't do without the Z8, what are you going to do if yours doesn't work? Well, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to show you how to get it going again, and I'm going to show you a faulty one, because yes, my Nikon Z8 is one of the ones affected, and I actually have a video of it here going wrong and how I got it to work again. So come on, let's get into it and I'll tell you all about it. If you're used to putting a lens on a camera, you will know absolutely immediately that this lens is not on the camera, because normally when you lock the lens in place and you're twisting about a 45 degree, this literally goes on, it twists about 5 to 10 degrees and you come to a sudden stop. You cannot put it on any further than that. Now, people have said to me, if you press the lens release button and jiggle that a small bit, it might go on. That doesn't work. It doesn't work on my camera. Now, the other thing I should point out is this is not always happening on my camera, and it works perfectly. This camera, the Z8, works beautifully with my 24 to 70, my 14 to 30, my 70 to 200, I have 105, 85mm primes, the F to Z adapter. They all work away beautifully. I have a number of other lenses. They all work away fine. There is only one lens I have a problem with, and that is the 35mm f1.8. On this lens, which is the one I normally use for my vlogging and for my YouTube videos, I'm using a 50mm lens today, so that's why I'm cropped a bit tighter, so please forgive that. So one of the things you might be thinking of is, oh my god, if this happens to me, will the lens fall off the camera? Once the lens goes on, it does lock in place very positively. The lens will not fall off. In my camera anyway, definitely I should stress. Now maybe my fault is different to everyone else's, but in mine, you notice immediately that the lens is not going on properly. So there is no way I would think that lens was actually locked in place. Absolutely none. Normally when you pop your lens on and twist it, it goes about 45 degrees, you hear a click and you're kind of going, all right, that lens is locked on. Now you could be in a busy environment, you don't hear the click. Fair enough. But when this goes faulty, you literally pop the lens on, you turn it, and the lens only goes about 10 degrees at the most. And straight away I'm kind of going, what's going wrong here? That needs to turn quite a bit more. But it just won't. There is a sudden stop and there is no way of moving it on. No, even jiggling it backwards and forwards, it doesn't work the vast majority of the time. Now, the one thing what people have said to me is you can press the lens release button and jiggle that around the place and it'll work. That has never worked for me. I have tried this numerous times and it just doesn't work. And as I said, the only lens it's giving trouble on this camera is the 35mm f1.8, which is something I can completely live with. I am not sending this camera in for repair anytime soon. I'm going to find out how long it takes first, and when I have a quiet time in my own personal photography, so I'll send it in then. But so yeah, let's get into the video. I'll show you what exactly happens and then how you can fix it. Here I have it now. So this is the lens on, and when I turn this, it stops here. It will not, I'm pushing that, it will not move any further, and pressing the lens release button is not making any difference. And if I turn it, you can actually hear that's back home, and then I'll put that up next to the microphone. So all I'm doing is I move it like that. So that is not working. So what I've done is I just take the lens off. That's my 35mm. I'm going to shove on my 24 to 70, and I'm presuming this is going to work now straight away. Yeah, and away it goes. No problem whatsoever. Release that, pop it back out along, put it back in. Perfect every time. So I'm going to get my 35mm lens now and pop the 35mm lens on and turn it, and there it goes. So 35mm lens going on and off perfectly every time. So as you can see, it's really simple to fix this, and it is not something you should be worried about. Simply take the lens off, pop on another lens and try it again, and it'll work afterwards. And there is no need to be worried about the lens falling off or not being able to release the lens from the camera. That works perfectly and has always worked perfectly for me. Now, I should stress, now this is maybe my Z8 and the fault it's in my Z8, but I presume it's going to be exactly the same for everyone else. So I am not in the least bit worried about the mount itself. It seems to be something in the locking mechanism, and as I say, my 24-70, 70-200, 14-30 and the other prime lenses I have, they all work perfectly. Even the F to Z adapter works perfectly, but the 35mm f1.8 for some slight reason just doesn't go on properly. But the other thing I should point out is on the 35mm f1.8, even putting it in my Z7 II, I noticed it's not quite as smooth as, let's say, the 24-70 or 70-100. It's a small bit more, it's not jerky, but there's just a slight bit more resistance. It doesn't glide on as smoothly. So it could be just something in the tolerance in the mount. And the other thing I should say too as well is the F to Z adapter I'm using on this is the original F to Z adapter. It's not the Mark II adapter. So maybe there's a problem with the Mark II adapter too as well. But again, once it's on and once it's locked in place, it is not going to fall off. The camera, in my experience, and the fault that's showing up in my camera anyway, that is not going to happen. So yeah, I have to confirm, please do send your Z8 in for its service recall and they will sort out the issue. There is no problem whatsoever there. But if you just can't at the moment, and if you're going to shoot, and if you're really nervous, oh my God, is my Z8 going to give me trouble? Then chill out, relax, it should be fine. Now again, I have to stress, this is what's happening on my Nikon Z8, but I've talked to a few other Z8 users too as well who've also had the same issue, and theirs has behaved exactly the same way as mine. So the most important thing is to go out and enjoy your Nikon Z8. Just have fun with it. Send it in for the service recall when you get a chance. Don't stress, don't worry, life's too short. Yeah, thanks again for watching, and the next video is going to be on the Nikon Z8 camera cage. And by the way, if you haven't seen it, I also have a video up too as well on the small rig L bracket for Nikon Z8, so do check that one out.